Hello, everyone, boys and girls. This is Ravaya from Need, and you're listening to the Progcast.
Welcome back to not just another episode of the Progcast. It is actually the very first episode of the Progcast in the new year in 2021. It's episode 101, and I'm super happy that you all tuned in again, or maybe it's the first time. So welcome back to the show, or welcome for the first time. And I'm also super excited to share this first episode of the third Progcast year with Ravaya calling all the way from Greece. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Great to see and
Hello,
hear you
Dario.
again. It's been a
Yes.
while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's nice to be here, to see and hear you once again. And Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year. Yeah, what a year is behind us, and it is now the beginning of January, and one of the very first prog albums to come out this year that a lot of people are looking forward to, I think, is of course the new Need album, which is called Norchestrion, a song for the end, and it's obviously a kind of third part to a trilogy. A song for Home
Yeah,
was in
yeah.
2014, and then we had the Song for Freedom, Hagayamas, in 2017, and now we have a song for the end. The new Need album is the fifth Need studio album. When did you write and record these songs? Did you record them during last year, or was the album done before?
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard to remember right now, but it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while with all this stuff happening. Recordings were done quite a while ago, like I guess uh, the better part of a year before the album was going to come out on the 12th of January. So yeah, the whole COVID business, made us think about stuff about when we should put the album out and stuff. I think drums were recorded like 1.5 years ago. Then I did my guitars. My bass was done around that time. Last thing to be recorded was, of course, the vocals because that's the way it goes, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been done quite a while now, but now it's finally coming out, and you guys get to hear it, and that's great.
So, yeah, are you releasing it independently again?
Definitely, yes, yes. Independent is the way to go for us. Uh, Hagayamas was actually the first release that we did through Bandcamp exclusively, and it did really well for us and helping us, go on tours and actually make more money to put in the band again for the stuff we need to be a prog band these days. So yeah, we're doing it independently again, and let's hope this goes well. Also,
Um, of course, the title seems a bit fitting for these times. So, what was the title set before all things went down the drain about a
yes,
year ago?
interestingly, yeah, interestingly, yes, the title was set long ago. Recent events with the COVID stuff. Yeah,
so,
it's kind of strange, isn't it?
so how does it fit in with the other two previous albums conceptually? What is the story or the meaning behind these songs for Home, Freedom, and the End?
Well, that's a really big conversation, I think, a long conversation. But I'll just say this: this is the final part of the trilogy that started, from home where the heart is, and then it kind of expanded to include freedom. And definitely this is the end, and by end, um, I think it's the ending of a cycle for us.
Mm-hmm.
Being, these three albums, I think, have many things in common in their architecture, if I may. So I think this is the last album Need is ever going to do with this kind of, let's say, format, and it's a fitting end to to put a bow on top and be done with this a song four thing. Uh, what does it mean? I don't know. People,
Okay.
well, I have many thoughts on this, but I'd prefer if people, made up their own story about the albums.
Yeah, one thing in particular that stands out, and that like I think no other band really did like this before, are of course the spoken word tracks like Iota on Hegayamas, and now we have Vadis on
Yes,
Norchestrion with the actors actually voice acting like deeply philosophical dialogue. And I have to admit I was super excited to get this kind of sequel to Iota in the form of Vadis, and I was but yeah, it's kind of, there's so many layers to this, to these little, even though it's like short conversations, but I I'm really curious how you came up with this unusual approach to a song. Or funnily enough, I found that Iota was kind of leading into Hegayamas, the title track, and
yes,
now
definitely.
Vadis is again leading into the title track Norchestrion. Um, so they're kind of intros, but also can stand on their own as a philosophical piece. I don't know. Um,
Well, yes, I'm very glad you say this. Um, I think it's part intentional and part happenstance. I mean, these short little one act plays, I would say, conversations or whatever you want to call them. Just they're just things that come to me. I just usually I'm done with writing the text in one sitting. I remember writing Iota in like 20 minutes, and I was in a dressing room in a Greek theater because I'm an actor. That's what I do in my life. And I remember writing Iota like in 20 minutes, and then the Vadis. Funnily enough, if you contextualize Vadis in the current situation, it's like it was kind of written for this mess we're all living in right now. But it was written like maybe 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. It also came to me in one sitting when I was actually contemplating actually the questions you're asking, like why is this the end? What is the end? What is a song for the end? Um, Always trying to approach it from different angles and perspectives, and Vadis is just what came out.
and
I'm really happy with it.
uh,
I like it.
uh, are those two characters the same characters as in Iota, even though the one is definitely a different speaker? Or
Well, Zoe Milanas, the one of the actresses, I must say, was actually the female voice of Iota.
yeah.
So it's one returning actor, and that's a top trip for you, Dario. Polixeni, which is the other actress, is actually a very good friend of mine who also sung the Portuguese lyrics in Orvam's and Theogen. There was a track with some Portuguese lyrics, and Polixeni was actually singing those lyrics in Orvam. So it's kind of a blend between Orvam and Hagayamas that comes together in Norchestrion.
Wow, but yeah, for character wise, I had the feeling that her character might be the same character as the male voice in Iota. or is it completely wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. It very well could be because in some weird way, I think all these little peculiar narration songs or narrative songs are connected in some way, and not to sound, but I am the person who wrote those dialogues, so maybe it's part of me coming out. Also, I don't know. But surely Zoe's voice and Polixena's voice are giving, are actually making Vadis what it is, and I'm very happy with it. And
Yeah.
it's very odd that people, in interviews and people who had the opportunity to listen to the album are actually focusing on Vadis and also the last song, which is in Greek, and
Yeah.
it's a soul voice, Kinwind. It's nice because I think it gives some layering to the album. It's not it completes it in a certain way. I
Yeah,
think.
and it is a very unique thing that people will find in the Need sound cosmos, so to speak, that they don't find in any other prog metal band or from any other prog metal band. But of course, there's the other songs that are real songs.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I think Vadis is a real song, also, though. I have to
okay,
say, it's just a peculiar song,
like let's say more traditionally with with
Yes,
music
yes,
and singing and all that.
yes, yes, definitely, definitely. I don't know. Maybe this kind of narrative song structure. I think there's room to evolve that and actually include also singing and more instruments maybe in the future. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the last time we do it. We'll see.
Speaking of which, I just it just reminds me of the newest, latest Arian album, which has had a lot of narration. And have you heard Transitus? Or
No, no,
are you
I
an
haven't.
Arian fan at all?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I am familiar, with the work.
Yeah.
I've actually, listened to a lot of stuff. It's really good and super, blockbuster prog metal, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, but I've heard a lot of people saying that yeah, the narration were like throwing them off out of the the world the singers that are creating,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
it's kind
I
of
understand.
kind of yeah, interrupting the musical flow and all that. And I had the feeling at first as well, but then the second time or third time I listened, I slowly came to like it for what it is. Um, but yeah,
But
there's
do you know what the thing is though? People have, of course, their opinion, and also there are some people who say this about also our narrative parts, our narrative songs, and that's their opinion. But to me, when it's done like with a nice aesthetic, I think it adds to the album. For example, uh, maybe you've heard of Blind Guardian's "Nightfall in the Middle Earth." That album. It's a fantastic album. I think it's perfect 10 masterpiece. And the narrative parts in that album are phenomenal. I mean, they never throw you off. They actually, uh, if anything, they immerse you deeper
yeah.
to the sound of the album. So you know, like everything, there's good narrations, not so good, mediocre, like totally trash. Maybe I don't know.
And of course it all comes to the person listening.
Yes,
um,
definitely, definitely, yes. The thing is, though, if well, it's a very complicated discussion. This, I don't know if people listen to like entire albums anymore, or some people do and some people don't. I think that if a person would like to immerse him or herself um, in a sound of an entire album, I think these kind of elements actually add up to the experience. Definitely not a single, friendly tune. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just accustomed to listening albums, from beginning to end, and I think this is I hope Norchestrion is also one of those albums that you listen to it from the start to finish.
Yeah, if there's a genre where it still is a thing to listen to whole albums and also do concept albums and all that, it's of course the prog genre, right?
Definitely, definitely, yes, yes, definitely, yes. I hope it's not only prog because I love prog, of course, but many other styles of music. You know, I even listen to Michael Jackson albums through and through. I like it. You know, I like listening to albums. It's an experience for me. It's kind of going away, I guess, but you know, for people who still like it, I think it's a treat.
Yeah. Now we talked all like a lot about these narrations and all this stuff, but we also want to know about the music, of course. Was the songwriting any different to the previous albums? How do you write songs in Need? Um,
Well, that's yeah. Let me just tell you exactly how we do it. Um, to be honest, this is our fifth album, okay? But of course, the first two albums I wouldn't say were you know, particularly liked by a lot of people. You know, there are those, you know, all those people, fans, God bless them, the universe bless them, whatever, that they like the first two albums. And the first two albums were you know, written in a different way than the last three. So it was mainly just me trying to get riffs together and record them, record the demo in my computer and whatever. And it just didn't feel like a band situation to me doing the first two albums. Okay, of course we were in a band, we were all together, but it missed something, you know. So when we did Orvam, it was me who I was insisting on all of us being there when, you know, and jamming on every riff, you know, every tune, every melody, and then talking about it. We talk a lot
mhm.
in our rehearsals when we write music. Like we play a part and then, you know, add another part and talk about, like, is this a chorus? Do we like it? How does this make me feel? Should we, you know, throw it away or change it? Or so it's a group effort. Okay. That being said, yeah, of course, I bring all the music to the table, but it's filtered through all the members of the band. It's a very long process, and
Mhm.
you know, in the end, I think it's worth it. You know, you can see that Orvam Agaimas and hopefully now Orchestrion are products of this kind of procedure. Like, to, you know, going every part, every melody all together, you know, talking about it, and then listening back to it, and, you know, building on the stuff we do every day at rehearsal. So yeah, this is the way we do it. We do it old school. We don't even do you know, we don't even do demos unless a song is finished at rehearsal, unless we feel we like playing it. It vibrates in a certain way. That's the way we do it. It takes us, I don't know, like 4 months of three or four rehearsals a week for like 3 or 4 hours to do an album, maybe more sometimes.
And then when you record it, is did you record it with Hector in the studio again?
Oh yes, definitely yes.
how
Hector's,
how much is he part of the Need sound?
I would say, like a huge part of the sound is Hector. Actually, he's our live engineer, also live sound engineer. So he knows what we do like better than anyone else. He's like a sixth member of our band. Um, and you know, he also gets the recordings from the rehearsals, and we talk, and you know, we discuss things over and over. That's a good thing, and it's also, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but when someone is so close to the band, he's like almost a member, a sixth member of the band. When it comes down to deciding on the sounds and how the album's gonna feel, it's a pro. He doesn't treat us like, you know, like we're just a band who came to a studio to get a mix. You know, I think. Let me think. I think we rarely talk technical stuff with Hector when we're doing mixes. We only talk about how do things feel, how does it sound, what do we want to convey
All
with a
right.
certain sound, a certain mix. Like, should it be more tame? Should it be more powerful? And he does his magic, and I think he's super great at doing what he does for us.
Do you does he also like have the freedom to make choices in the end?
Well, he has the freedom to change anything he wants, like to uh, come to the table and say, "Oh, I didn't like that, so I, deleted that or I changed that." And if we like it, we just let it be. Um, yeah, he's. I think everyone has freedom in this band, which is an odd thing to say, but yeah, like until the final moment, everything is open. Then we decide all together if we like something or not. I mean, when there's like some issue where no one gets to agree with no one else, then most of the times it's me who makes the final call.
Okay.
Like, okay, because we have to finish this, it has to be that way or something. Yeah. So it's like making a film, I guess, or a theater play, a theater production. It's an ongoing process. It's a process until it's done, and it's good that it finishes, because I think if we're not going to put the album out, we're going to be mixing and changing stuff forever or something.
Yeah. So you need to set yourself a deadline.
Yeah, but that being said, you know what? I think for every song, and for every movie or for every book or whatever, there's always something in the center of a song, let's say, that actually makes that song what it is. So it's until we get that, we actually tune ourselves to what is, the center of the song. What does the particular song stand on? Is it a riff? Is it a melody? Is it a combination of things? Maybe a lyric that we have to you know make sure it comes out and it's conveyed to the audience. Once we nail that, we know what the soul of the song is. Then it doesn't matter, if the mix is like this or like that. I think if we nail that, then the song is cool.
Yeah, you mentioned sometimes it's a piece of lyric, and that's uh, definitely the case with Immortal. I've become so dark and sinister. How does it go? That is kind of the center point of the that song, I would say. It was also
I,
the
I,
what was it the first? I think it was also the first single, right?
yes, definitely yes, and I'm so happy that you say this, because this time around, um, I was, contemplating and thinking of how to change things up, and Immortal is actually one of, well, I really don't want to write lyrics, because I love to talk things over with John, and get both of us in the same headspace, and then he writes, and then we talk about it and change it. That's the way it's done with the lyrics. But in this album, I actually did write some melodies and lyrics, and I've become so dark and sinister was actually the thing I brought for an Immortal, and the whole song was actually based on this lyric and the melody that I wrote. But I was driving one day, coming home from work, and I recorded it on my phone. This and the melody after the second chorus, which it sounds kind of like Indian. It was this lyric, "I've become so dark and sinister," and that melody, and we built the whole song around something I just hummed, which is great for us. It's liberating, not to put technique and stuff and harmony and everything in it, when it actually started from this very, very simple thing. And I'm so happy that you said this is the center of the song, because I think so too.
Yeah, well, it starts with it like with nothing else around it. So it's put into the center of attention from the get go.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And yeah, let's talk specifics. But when the song starts, it says, "I've become so," and I think "So Dark and Sinister" is kind of the resolution to that, which is kind of sad, but it's the way I felt at that day, I guess.
um, yeah. In the meantime, between Hegayamas and Norchestrion, you also put out a little solo EP last. I wanted to say last year, but now it's been like
A
the
100 years
previous
ago.
year in
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
Riftard. Um,
Yes, definitely.
you want to tell us a little bit about this little solo EP that you did?
Oh yes, that was a long time in the past. Yes, of course, definitely. Um, it was Norchestrion was not gonna be coming out soon at that point, so I had some time in my hands, and just decided, why don't I try to do something with like not guitar based like Guitar Hero stuff, but just do a small instrumental record, a small record, an EP with some stuff I would like to play maybe. And to be honest, I did it because when I first thought about doing it, I didn't think I could do it. I was like, no, how am I going to do songs with no vocals? And so that was immediately then that was the goal. Can I do songs without vocals? But songs, not like instrumental, solo pieces or whatever. And yeah, I did it. It actually people liked it, and I'm very happy to have made it. Very happy to have made this small record, Riftard.
And did you record everything yourself and like or did you have some friends or
Oh
someone
yeah,
playing?
Hector, of course. Hector played the drums and bass on it,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, he played both drums and bass on it, and mixed it also.
Oh.
And Anthony, our keyboard player from Need, he did the keyboard parts. So yeah, I didn't stray away from the path, I guess. But yeah, it was a happy accident, I think, Riftard.
Happy little accidents.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah,
um,
like believe it or not, like of course you believe it because it was. I think we did it in like 2 weeks or something. Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah, and I mean recorded the stuff and mixed it in 2 weeks, which was great. It's a whole nother approach to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, of course I had some stuff, and some music that I recorded on my phone, or even like many years ago, some stuff I demoed, like half finished demos. But it came together in 2 weeks. That was it. I'm very happy for it, and maybe I'll do something in the future also. But Riftart is okay. Riftart is what it is.
Now the focus, of course, lies on Norchestrion, A Song for the End, which comes out on January 12th. And yeah, I wish you guys all the best with this record. And I do hope, probably, we all hope that at one point you also will be able to play these songs live
Oh yeah.
somewhere, somewhere at
Yeah,
some
we hope
point.
so too. We hope so too. But we'll see how it happens with concerts and gigs.
Yeah,
I sure hope they make a comeback because
yeah,
I'm
we all
I'm
do.
I'm seriously thinking that this COVID business might have altered the scene like to a point where we might not see live performances in the way that before
Yeah.
the COVID mess.
Did did did
We'll
you
see.
did you as a music fan check out any streams last year?
Yeah, I want to say yes, but I did check out some live stream stuff, and I just couldn't uh, relate to it at all.
Okay.
But that of course,
Uh,
that does not mean that there's no merit in this, and people who are accustomed or probably get get live streams when they're 12 or something or 13. Maybe it's a part of their world.
Yeah.
John actually kind of it actually checked out the festival, the Progspace did, and he told me that, you know what, yeah, like, not all of it was for me, but there's some parts of it which I really enjoyed, and the bands were really cool, and yeah, which yeah, I think it might be this way, but it's just not for me. I just
It is what it is for the time being.
let's hope you're right about the for the time being thing, though.
Yeah.
Because I can't really fathom how performances will be without audiences and the whole experience, the whole
Yeah.
concert going
Also,
experience.
also for your day job at the theater, I guess.
Oh my God, that's a mess. Yeah, it is a mess, definitely. I was so fortunate to be in the National Theatre of Greece during the pandemic crisis, and yeah, I think it's the most awkward I've felt ever on stage, because we got, well, last year we were actually rehearsing for a performance in the National Theatre of Greece, and it got you know canceled basically, and it got moved to this year, and you know stuff opened, and we opened like at the end of October and played. We did 10 performances, and then there was a second lockdown, and then we did live streaming. Like we did two live streaming performances, which was super awkward because we were
Yeah.
in the main stage of the National Theatre of Greece, but it's like 700 seats, and they were all empty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was something. I mean, yeah, it was very different than anything we've done before. But I think theater, okay, theater is not going to work in live streaming. Definitely not. I mean, music might work at some point if I think the analogy is the mixture is found of what is a music live stream. I mean, what could it be that makes it unique as a
Yeah.
medium? That will be a sight to see if somebody actually nails it. But theater, no, theater is never going to work. Not a live stream. Yeah.
All right. Before I let you go, I want to take our um famous "What's in your Walkman" section also over to the new year, and I want to ask you what have you been listening to lately? Is there anything that stands out that you would like to share with our listeners and your fans?
Yeah, of course. It's no surprise, of course, what I'm going to say. I think I've been doing the new Fates Warning nonstop. Okay. So, yeah, I was blown away by this album. I think it's definitely album of the year for 2020. I get chills like all over my body thinking about it. I think if this is the final Fates Warning album, then yeah, cool. It's ended on a high note.
What's your favorite song?
Whew. I think Longest Shadow of the Day, definitely. Last song is amazing. Um, I listened to the whole thing, to be honest, but the long track, I think it's something that I haven't done before in that
Yeah,
way.
it's it's definitely the most diverse face warning record ever. In like as the songs are very different sounding and not sticking to one particular mood or style, which was definitely something new for Fates Warning. But speaking of Fates Warning and speaking about Fates Warning with a Greek prog metal fan or with a Greek metal fan, um, can you tell me what is it with Greece and Fates Warning?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I'm not sure. There is something, of course. I mean, Fates Warning is super successful here in Greece,
Yeah,
and we actually had the honor and privilege to open for them in their the last tour they did, here in Athens, which was amazing. I got Jim Matheos to sign both of my Need guitars, so I got two signature model Jim Matheos guitars, and only I've got them, which is great because he hasn't got a signature model. I don't know. I think it's. Let me think about it. What could it be? Because I think Fates Warning is a prog band, but it's not flashy
Yeah.
prog band. Well, they haven't been a flashy prog band for many years now. I think as time passes, they've kind of you know gone deeper and deeper to the heart and soul of things, and that's what makes
Mm-hmm.
them. It amazes me that they're not super successful. I have to say it
yeah,
amazes me.
yeah, to the light and shade of things.
Yeah, yeah.
The other band that I can see from an outsider's perspective that is like has a crazy following in Greece in particular would be Psychotic Waltz.
Oh yeah, man! Like Psychotic Waltz was my favorite band for many years. Like, and I still love them. So,
what are your
yeah.
thoughts on their new comeback album?
Okay, so people are gonna hate me, but I don't care really. Yeah, it just didn't do it for me.
It's
It just didn't do
fair
it for me.
enough.
But people, I have people whom I really appreciate and trust their opinion, and they told me you should give it another shot. Man. You should definitely give it another shot, and I probably will, but I'm too busy listening to Fate's Warning now. And it's they. When a band has this special place in your heart, sometimes it's with new stuff. Like after so many years, you never know what to expect. Maybe it's. I mean, I'm not sure what I expected from Psycho Waltz, to
Yeah.
be honest. Also, let me just say, my other favorite album for 2020 was Puscifer's "Underwhelming."
Mm-hmm.
That was the album for me after Fate's Warning, of course.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not metal enough or prog enough, maybe, but for me that was a great album.
Well, it's definitely in the prog periphery or in the prog tangent.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So Dario, can I ask you a question?
yes, of course.
Okay. So tell me. I mean, because this issue you've just put in the conversation is pretty big. I think. I mean, what is prog today?
You dropped the bomb right there.
Yeah, I mean, what's it to you? I mean, you're a guy who likes prog music. I mean, is really into this stuff. You listen to a lot of bands. What is prog nowadays?
um, I like to think I think prog is something else for everyone. Like, you know what I mean? So it might be something different for you than it's for me. And of course, if you look into all these Facebook groups, they might be full of people who are saying, yeah, prog died with the year 1978 or whatever. And
Just before I was born, maybe you too.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And there will people be there'll be people who will say, yeah, Dream Theater was the pinnacle of prog metal, and there's no like they wouldn't even touch any band who is expanding the boundaries of what prog music is and could be in the future and whatever, who are incorporating modern influences, be it from extremer metal or extremer music regions, or be it from more popular music regions.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And there's in the last years there's definitely the modern prog. I see a lot of bands experimenting with pop influences, which is great. And I also see a lot of movement in more crazy, extreme, and experimental and avant-garde stylings, which is ultimately prog for me, and not having the
Yeah,
sound an album
maybe,
for forever, you know?
yeah, I don't know. Maybe prog in the end of the day is music for listeners who actually live and die, by their music. It's a
Yeah.
music for deep music lovers, I think.
Deep
I
music
mean,
lovers, that's a beautiful thing that you're saying. And in the last year I also got a lot of met a lot of people, or I was in contact with a lot of prog fans that actually would say never ever call me a prog fan, and their some of their favorite albums also included like the new Taylor Swift album and the new Dua Lipa album and all of that, which some old school proggers might find quite to be a heresy or anything like something like that. You know what I mean? But I love this sense of this breeze of change, and that it's becoming more and more okay and accepted to also like pop music when you're a
yeah,
progger.
sure. I
And
mean, I like pop music, just not contemporary pop music. Like I said, I like Michael Jackson. To be
yeah.
honest, I
Well,
never think it's.
of course, now is the these days the big debate in the prog forums is Steven Wilson covers Taylor Swift. Is this prog or not? Is he selling? Is he a sellout now or whatever? And of course, people have very differing opinions
You
about
know
it,
what?
and some are very vocal about it, that they hate it, and they don't think he's doing prog music anymore, and they're disappointed or whatever, and they're very vocal and very disappointed. But then there's people who embrace it, who have been listening to Steven Wilson and Taylor Swift alongside for a long time already, or also maybe some Steven Wilson fans who have never listened to Taylor Swift before because they thought, it's this country pop girl, and I'm never gonna like her music. But now that they heard Steven Wilson's rendition of that song, they might check out her last album because they actually liked it, and they might find some beautiful music, which is the beauty of being open-minded.
Yeah, but do you know what the thing is, though? Talking about Stephen Wilson, I mean, let's just be clear on this. I think uh, Stephen Wilson is an international music treasure.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I mean, that's the end of it. I mean, he's done so much music, so diverse music,
Yeah.
with playing with different musicians, doing different styles, uh, for so many years. It's a privilege, to be able to listen to the stuff
Yeah,
he does and
as
to live in
much
the same
as
era.
much as I love the Insurgentis for its noisy darkness, or Grace for Drowning, or the Raven, of course. Like as much as I love these already three quite different sounding at the heart of it records, I wouldn't want him to repeat himself over and over in the same style. Even though I might not connect with the new stuff as much as I did with the Raven, for example, or Raider 2 or whatever, um, it's still more exciting than getting the same stuff over and over. And that
You know
that
what?
is that is also a part of being prog.
Of course, and I think Stephen Wilson. I mean, if this was a different era, probably like some years in the past, I think Stephen Wilson would be, name checked opposite Pink Floyd, or Tangerine Dream, or Led Zeppelin, maybe. I don't know,
Yeah.
but of course, this is not the era of such big, great stadium arena bands. But I think Stephen Wilson is our era's version of that, and we should all be grateful and happy. Yeah, I mean that's the
Yeah.
way it is.
The Future Bites is coming out soon as well. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting ride. From what we heard as the singles already. It's
I
gonna be
think they're
defeat.
great. I love everything this guy does, and even if I don't like it, I love to listen to it. You know, to get a glimpse of what he was thinking of
Of
where
his
his life
creative
journey is
mind. Yeah,
taking him.
yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
he's amazing. I mean, we should be very happy that he's actually alive and well and making music. Even if he's making it for prog fans or not for prog fans, who cares? I mean, I saw this interview with him for his last album where he said he got the whole momentum going for his new album when he asked this person what he does for a living, and this person said, "I'm my job is to review stuff people put in their online baskets, in shopping baskets, but don't buy them. So this is my job." Like,
Oh wow, that's weird. That's a weird job.
man, that to me was like, yes, yes, I want to listen to a record that was, inspired by, because it's mind blowing. I mean, could you imagine that like 15 years ago? Like, what's your job? I review stuff. I try to understand why people put stuff in their shopping baskets, but they don't end up buying it. And you know what? I've done it. I've put stuff in my basket, mostly guitars and stuff, which I can't afford, and look at them, and then I don't buy them, and But it was super interesting to me to hear that there's an album that started its thought process on this super weird stuff for trivia thing.
Yeah.
And also, let's just say this: I don't know about you, but I think even I mean, today I'm really not into the new like classic prog stuff like Dream Theater anymore. I mean, I used to be, and I am a super Dream Theater fan. But let's just say that this band, Dream Theater, all through the '90s, everyone was listening to grunge and to other stuff, and I think in a way, Dream Theater is the band that carried the prog metal genre for a whole decade, almost single-handedly.
Carried the
Okay.
torch.
Yes, and that's amazing. And
Yeah,
I'm
true.
even if I don't, maybe I hope I like their new record, but even if I didn't like the Astonishing or the last record, I'm so happy that these guys they continue to make music, and
Yeah.
and that's not top 40 music, that's not sponsored by huge companies and sponsors and whatever, and doesn't get force fed to people, and it's music that I think ultimately comes from the heart, from a very sacred place in one's mind and soul and heart, and that's great. So as long
Beautiful.
as there's music that's made that way, I want to listen to it, even if I don't like it.
Yeah. And you ask what's modern, like we were talking about modern prog, and we kind of derived a little bit from the what's in your Walkman section. I want to give my two entries today. You mentioned Fate's Warning and Puscifer, and I'm gonna put that into the playlist. What I've been listening to a lot these last weeks was the new single from French artist that goes under the name of Feather, and he put out a song called Mirrors. So it's almost written like mirrors, but with only one R in the middle. Mirrors. It's
Okay.
it's supposedly an acronym. I don't know what it stands for, but it's 9 or 10 minutes of super amazing ambient prog metal, and topped off with a stellar solo by Lucas De La Rosa. And the other one would be the new, still kind of new, I guess, Vola single, Head Mounted Sideways. That's also
Okay.
a banger, an absolute banger. Two tracks that I can't get enough of these days.
They're also French guys, Vola, right? Or am I mistaken?
Vola are Danish.
Oh, Dennis, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
man.
and
So
then
sorry.
and with a Swedish drummer.
Okay, okay.
And well, I know, or I'm pretty sure that we will get to hear more Vola and more news from Vola soon, hopefully. And their new album is due, and we are waiting for it. So these are the two songs that I'm recommending today. It's been a great way to start the prog year off by nerding out about the big question: what is prog?
Yeah. We should address that sometime. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually, we shy away from the question because it can be quite controversial.
Yeah, as long as there's people who love music and there's a diversity in music, I think one can not go wrong by saying what prog is. So prog is it's heartfelt, soulful music for weird people, I guess.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time. All the best with the release of Norchestrion, A Song for the End,
Thank you.
out on January 12th. I'm thinking we're going to drop this episode on Monday, January 11th. So one day after. If you haven't pre-ordered it, go to Bandcamp and snatch your copy of Need's new album. It is a banger. I can attest to that. I have listened to it a couple of times. Ravaya, please say hi to the rest of the band on our behalf. And as always, thank you guys for listening. Thanks for returning to the Progcast now in 2021. I'm looking forward to many great prog adventures with you. And as always, take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and listen to great music.
The Progcast is a production of Stuus Media and is presented by the Progspace. It is produced by Randy M. Salo, Janine Stengel-Lewis, Blake Lewis, and Dario Albrecht. Our theme music is by This Is Not an Elephant, and Van Kirsch does our graphics. New episodes of the Progcast drop every Monday and Thursday, and don't miss our Friday Top 5 episode where we discuss our favorite new releases from that week. For more interviews and reviews in the written form, check out theprogspace.com.